On a map, the Baltic states look almost too perfect to be real. Three countries aligned like precise steps on a staircase, borders smooth and balanced, coastlines calm and geometric. In a continent known for chaotic shapes and tangled histories, this stands out instantly. So how did Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania end up looking so perfectly shaped? And does this perfection actually help them, or hide their biggest challenges? When you look at the Baltic states, the first thing you notice is how clean their borders appear. No strange extensions, no fragmented territories, just three compact outlines that fit together almost like a vertical puzzle. This simplicity is unusual in Europe. Croatia bends across the Balkans in a dramatic arc. Bosnia and Herzegovina squeezes out a tiny sliver of coastline. Belgium sits beside a maze of enclaves and irregular provincial lines. Across the continent, borders twist and loop after centuries of wars and shifting kingdoms. The Baltics feel different. Their borders look calm, straightforward, almost geometric. Their coastlines reinforce the symmetry. Latvia and Lithuania share smooth, uninterrupted fronts along the Baltic Sea. Estonia's mainland outline is rounded and balanced, even with its many offshore islands. Compared to the dramatic fjords of Norway or the scattered islands of Greece, the Baltic coastline feels almost peaceful. And each country's shape is compact. None are long and narrow like Portugal. None stretch far north like Finland. None sprawl outward like France. Instead, the Baltics look like three well-proportioned pieces of land, similar in scale, balanced in form, and visually harmonious. This is why their geography feels so perfect at first glance. Not because the land was shaped for beauty, but because history and terrain happened to produce some of the cleanest-looking outlines in Europe. Beneath the neat layout of the Baltic states lies a set of real geographical advantages, quietly aiding their modern success. The first advantage is coastline. All three countries sit on the Baltic Sea, giving them direct access to maritime trade routes that connect Northern Europe, Scandinavia, and even the North Sea through Denmark. This access allows Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania to operate major ports that handle everything from raw materials to high-tech cargo. Tallinn, Riga, and Klaipėda are not just coastal cities. They are gateways that turn small countries into logistics hubs far bigger than their population might suggest. The second advantage comes from topography. The Baltics are almost entirely flat. There are no major mountain ranges, no barriers dividing regions, and no natural obstacles that complicate travel. This may look unremarkable, but flat terrain makes infrastructure simpler, cheaper, and faster to build. Highways, rail lines, fiber optic networks, and power grids can run across the region with minimal resistance. It is one reason why Estonia was able to digitalize government services earlier than many larger nations. Geography didn't slow them down. The third advantage is proximity. The Baltic states sit in a strategic corridor between Northern Europe and the heart of the European Union. From Tallinn, Helsinki is only 80 kilometers away. From Riga, major cities in Poland and Germany are within a day's transport. And from Lithuania, the rest of Central Europe is directly accessible by land. Their stacked formation on the map actually creates a natural north-south economic path, where goods and people can move quickly between the three countries. Another advantage is their distance from extreme climates. Despite being northern, none of the Baltic states face Arctic conditions. Winters are cold but manageable. Summers are mild. This climate supports agriculture, forestry, and a level of livability that encourages stable populations and reliable harvests. Finally, their position on the Baltic Sea places them in a region of relative environmental stability. There are no major earthquakes, no active volcanoes, and few natural disasters that threaten infrastructure. For small states, this stability is a priceless geographic asset. This is the quiet strength of the Baltics, a set of geographic advantages that look simple on the map, but matter enormously in reality. While the Baltics may look perfect on the map, perfection has its price. The first challenge is population. Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania are small nations with small domestic markets. This limits how much industry they can support. It restricts consumer demand. And it pushes their economies to rely heavily on international trade rather than internal growth. In the modern world, size still matters. And for the Baltics, scale is something geography simply cannot provide. The second disadvantage is their position inside the European Union. They sit far from the continent's major economic centers like Germany, France, or Italy. Distance means higher transport costs for goods, materials, and supply chains. It makes heavy industries less attracted to the region. And it forces the Baltics to specialize in lighter, high-value sectors such as services, logistics, and technology instead of manufacturing. The third challenge comes from proximity to Russia. Estonia and Latvia share direct land borders with the Russian Federation. Lithuania borders Kaliningrad, a heavily militarized Russian exclave. This geography adds constant pressure to their security environment. For three relatively small states, the presence of a major military power next door shapes everything from defense planning to foreign policy. It increases reliance on NATO protection, and it turns their borders into some of the most strategically sensitive lines in Europe. The fourth issue is internal and tied to history. In Estonia and Latvia, a significant Russian-speaking minority remains from the Soviet era. This leads to ongoing debates over citizenship rights, language laws, and cultural integration. These issues do not dominate daily life, but they do create periodic political tension. It is a reminder that geography and history can leave long shadows that take generations to resolve. The final challenge is demographic. After regaining independence in 1991, all three Baltic states experienced high levels of emigration to Western Europe, a documented and long-term trend. Young workers left in search of higher wages. The result is aging populations, shrinking workforces, and long-term pressures on healthcare, pensions, and economic competitiveness. No coastline or flat terrain can fix a declining demographic curve. It is one of the hardest obstacles these countries now face. Geography gives, but geography also takes. And for Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, their greatest challenges are shaped as much by where they are as by who they are. In the end, the Baltic states look perfect on the map for a reason. Not because their borders are flawless, but because their identity is. Three small nations shaped by history, sharpened by geography, and defined by resilience. Their strengths and weaknesses are two sides of the same landscape, and their future will depend on how they continue turning this perfect shape into real power. If you want more deep dive videos like this, let me know in the comments. Tell me which region, country, or hidden story you want to explore next. And if you enjoyed this journey, subscribe for more powerful geography and history insights.